What is up, great Canadian Ape
Hey,
family?
guys.
My name is James Marin.
Jim Marin.
We are not financial advisors, so do not take any financial advice from us. Fairly flat day, continued consolidation at the 250 level, down 1%. That's for Progenity. Ortex Fintel data, including short squeeze leaderboard and short data we got coming up. Monthly options, December 17th. 99% of calls out of the money if price is less than 250. Watch out for the hedge funds to try to keep the price under 250 with increased shorting. Watch for possible downward pressure on the price due to tomorrow's Fed announcement. Prog is still looking great long term. This is not financial advice, so let's get into it. So Progenity. So they just released this. Careers at Progenity, Vice President of Technical Operations. The SVP of Technical Operations assumes a strategic role in the overall management of the company, focused on gastrointestinal health and oral biotherapeutics teams and initiatives.
Which we showed the other day.
Yep. The role is responsible for overseeing manufacturing, quality control, engineering, SW engineering, and supply chain from early mid-stage product development through global manufacturing for commercial products. This role oversees and provides technical leadership, strategic direction, risk assessment, and oversight for successful long-range planning and execution across all supporting functions.
Are you going to apply?
I don't think I have the qualifications.
I got it. Okay.
Progenity's current job postings include roles for production of GI Smart pills, indicating that Progenity may be planning to produce the pills through their own production facilities.
So this is where they could certainly still align with those companies, the big Pfizers, Eli Lilly's, etc., that have the patents on the actual medicine. And perhaps it's throughout Progenity's own facilities that they will produce for the global market.
100%.
That's sweet. Okay, so had a couple comments, and thanks so much for watching, and thank you for the comments that do come in for this. We're trying for 1,000 subs by the end of the year. That's our goal. We're up about 600 so far, so please share, etc. We did get a comment to be able to say, well, are they allowed to sell these 90 million in shares already? And it was my understanding through Ortex prior, when I was phoning both New York and England. And you know what's so cool about Ortex?
What?
They're right on Wall Street. And so, today I looked them up again and phoned Wall Street today and was talking to David. This was his response. It came in 15 minutes ago. So, dear Jim, my understanding is that there would be no obligation for any further SEC filings as a result of these sales. There might be filings if the sales went to insiders, Form 4s, or a beneficial owner who owns greater than 5% of the outstanding shares, requiring a further form, but otherwise, they're free to sell or not sell, and the markets would have no formal way of knowing what they have done until revealed by a future filing, such as a Q10, which isn't due until next February, or another prospectus. So what we were saying in our previous videos that said that, okay, the price was coming down. They put this out at $4.89. The price was coming down. The fund company that's selling these earns a 3%, so $3 million for selling a total of 90 million shares. And likely the downward pressure in price was partly due to this. Partly due to the shorts, partly due to people who were just in it for the very short term getting out. But yes, they absolutely could sell these shares at any time.
Today's price action and look ahead for tomorrow. So tomorrow, watch out for the Fed report on potential rising of interest rates due out tomorrow morning. Could have a negative impact on stock market, which will be more pronounced with stocks within the biopharm sector and short squeeze speculative stocks. Throughout the week, watch for market makers, manipulators to target prices to be lower than 250 based off of upcoming monthly options expiring on Friday, which occurred throughout today.
Now, do you think through the SEC, like when they talk about market makers, so like Citadel being the main market maker, do you think they could actually just kind of change that name so that it's not market makers, but it's actually a formal name, market manipulators?
Yeah.
You think so? Yeah.
Would
anyway,
quite suit it. Never mind. Yeah. You know what's crazy? So I was in this stock today, ESSC, right?
Yeah.
It goes up. It doesn't even start gamma, right? Gamma ramp a little bit, but it's not gamma squeezing yet. Because this thing is tighter than friggin' GameStop was. Got 1,000% back in January. There was 1,000% of the free float in the money calls.
Right. And that's because they're going into a merger and major sectors of their shares are already spoken for. The hedgies didn't do their homework on that.
Yep.
And so they didn't realize that all these little pockets, big pockets
Yep.
of the available float was already spoken for. So the posted float was actually 90% higher than what the actual float is.
Exactly. So Citadel comes in and they friggin' drop this. It had great consolidation all week, and then it all of a sudden goes like that. Like, I've seen it with our IRNT though, so it's definitely not over. They still have 300% in the money call options that they have to hedge for at 12.50 for Friday, which is still insane. That's
Yeah. But
30
Citadel
times
came in.
more.
Citadel came in.
Citadel came in and they shorted it the hell down, which is brutal.
I don't know. Do you think they have like a directive from the SEC? Like, is Gary Gensler phoning them up? Hey, Kenny boy, this one's gotten out of control. Can you go and short the hell out of it? Anyway, who knows?
Literally, they just don't want retail investors to make a lot of money. They want retail investors to stay poor.
Have their little, here's a little, piece of bread.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know what? It's getting to the point where I'm not saying we should protest and go occupy Wall Street, but if we can get a movement like that going, it might not be a bad thing. I'm not saying that, though.
So to take a look at today's price action, the open was at 241. It went to a low of 238. Then it had a nice push up again. We had a 10-15% rise to 274. We did see a big level of resistance again at the 275 level, pushed it back down. I believe this was some shorts. And so where we're at again is right at the 250. In the morning, we saw the 50-day moving average on the minute chart go up from below to above the 200-day, and the price followed that. And then as it was being shorted and coming down, then the 50-day crossed from above over the 200-day moving average, moving it down. And it basically respected it for the rest of the day. But basically, the hedgies have about 1 million combined calls, 850,000 combined calls and puts at the 250 level. So whatever technical analysis you can do on this to be able to take a look at Fibonacci's and the MACDs and the RSI's and any moving averages, et cetera, that sort of thing. I mean, basically it comes down to the hedgies win if it's under 250. So we're going to see about 250 and then, drop.
That is so corrupt, eh?
Yeah, that's how prices work. So that's where today's level of resistance was at the 270, 275 level at about the 10 a.m. And then the support and resistance level was at the 250, whether it's a little bit below, a little bit above. Now, if we do rise from that, watch for resistant levels being at about the 270, the 287, and the $3 level. On the downside, look for support being at the 225 and $2.
So in the Germany market, another consolidation on the European market. Germany down 1.82%. Previous close of 220 euros, open at 218, high of 230, low of 210, and closed at 216, 231 USD.
Options expiring this Friday. We took a look at this yesterday and saw that 99% of the calls are currently, if the price ends up less than 250 on Friday close, then 99% of the calls will be out of the money. Approximately 15 million will be out of the money versus only 157 in the money. Regarding the puts, they're fighting for this put point, which is about 4,500 contracts. So that's worth some money to them. And, so they'll, maybe they get their freaking Christmas bonus.
Yeah.
Keep it down, and so watch again for that 250 level.
Talking about future price targets, not financial advice. Price target will stay above the $2 level, most likely, even through dips. Short term, $2 to $4 until major announcement of products going to market or partnership, merger, and acquisition. Longer term, we're looking at $8 to $30 once products, example, Precludio, go to the market and or partnership, merger, and acquisition. That's CNN business.
Take a look at Ortex for the day. The short interest went up another 1.6% today with borrowed shares of 1.79 million. So this would date it back to Friday. And so they were shorting on Friday. And then in other cases, there's returned shares. Now, notice the difference between the shares on loan, which is at just about 29 million, and the actual estimated current short interest of 22 million. So there's 7 million shares that have been loaned that have not been shorted. That just seems to be a large number.
It does, for
and
sure.
again, we have these two camps of shorters. You've got the Ethereum, which is using theirs for their own purpose to be able to try and set the price to be where they want it to be. And then the Hedgies, the Citadels, and that is their official name, actually. In Chicago now, yeah. The Citadel building.
Citadel Incorporated.
Yeah. And you know, the amazing people in Chicago.
Yep.
I love Chicago. We've got relatives in Chicago. Love y'all. And a guy that makes $1 million an hour that's in Chicago.
Yep.
A main stock market options area, the commodities market out of Chicago. And he says negative things about Chicago.
Does he?
Yeah. And so, we need to, people in Chicago, put Citadel signs on this guy's front door. This guy's unbelievable. Anyway, so utilization's at 99.74, so still quite high. Cost of borrows at 42%. Days to cover, quite low at 0.36, so they have room to go in and out and manipulate the price if they want to. Again, shares on loan, almost 29 million, up 11% in the last week. Percentage free float on loan, 27.54, 11% change. And the estimated short percent of free float is currently at 20%, which was an 87% change in a week, which was probably a bunch of bullshit because this data is reported from all the hedge fund companies, et cetera, to here. And there's something wrong with that.
Oh my God, this market is so rigged, it's not even funny.
Right? The exchange reported short interest. Last was in around 18 million. And that was a change of 7% up. We did get that data in a few days ago. Share short was listed at 18.13, which was significantly higher than the 11 million that they were talking about. So all of a sudden we had this 11. Oh, no, it's really 18. Because this is the only number that's real. Because this is when they're actually telling their parents, oh yeah, this was, and they're not lying, and they can't lie to the SEC on these numbers. So regarding the Fintel report. So the short interest as per Fintel is 18.1 million shares with the days to cover at 0.98. Again, it's going up for two reasons now. The number of shares that they've shorted is higher and the volume continues to be low. And so it, like today, actually it increased to about 20 million. And short interest percentage of float was 17.29. Dark pool short volume, 3 million. And so that's down a little bit. It's still about double what it should be at the 20% level, but it's down to the 41%. We are at 82.66 for the short squeeze score, making us still in the leaderboard, 80 out of 5,400 companies. The shares availability is, it's there for them to short. It's at 450,000 at a rate of roughly 35%. Failure to deliver is big yellow candles, somehow disappeared. And as we were saying earlier, this increase from the 163.75 to the 178.85, that 15.1 million increase, both in the outstanding shares and in the free float, was due to the fact that, yes, at any time, they could sell up to $90 million worth of their stock. And Jane Street, now the regulars are still there, and there's no updates for the last month, and
Alrighty, thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, we are the Great Canadian Apes. It's not financial advice. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. We will put Twitter and Reddit links in the description box below. And we hope you guys have a great week.
All right. Take care, guys.